Okay, so we're moving on to the second type of transformation. In our last lesson, we learned how to translate an object. This time we want to talk about how to reflect an object. And basically, you could use the term flipping it because it's like flipping it over. You also have to be able to identify the line of reflection. So let's put this right here, line of reflection. That's one of the keys that you need to be able to find. If you know where the line of reflection is, then you'll be able to flip it correctly. Also, just like when you translate an object after you reflect it, it will still be the same size, okay? So we're not changing the size of it. All we're doing is we're moving it, but instead of sliding it like we did over here for translation, we're going to be flipping it over the line of reflection. So let's get into our first example here. Reflection across the y-axis. This problem does not specifically say what the line of reflection is, but since they're telling you what to reflect it across, that's the line of reflection. So let me go ahead and get my pen out here and we'll fill this in. Here we go. So this blue line that I've highlighted, the y-axis, will be basically our line of reflection. Now, there are different ways that you can look at this. I'm sticking with just one way. If you see a different style or technique that you can get the correct reflection, the end result is right every time, then feel free to experiment with that. There's all sorts of different ones, but what I did not want to do is come in and show you about 4 or 5 different ways and then leave you confused. So here's the basics. Here's the line of reflection. You pick any one point to start with. Let's just choose B. Um, because this is a vertical line of reflection, how many spots horizontally is B away from this line of reflection? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it stands to reason if this is a mirror reflection, or if we're going to flip it to the other side, that it should be 4 away from the line of reflection on this side. And so this becomes B prime. So since B is 4 units away from the line of reflection, this has to be 4 units away from it. And it's got to be perfectly horizontal. Pretend like this was a piece of paper, and if we folded right where this line of reflection is, this B would be folded over and it would lay right on top of B prime. So that's the idea of a reflection. Now, let's go through and do the same thing with R. If you notice, R is 5 units away from the line of reflection. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we count the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this becomes R prime. And then you start to be able to speed up after you get the hang of it. Let's look at Y. That is 1, 2, 3 units away. So 1, 2, 3 units away on the other side. And then P is right here. So let's count up the units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units away. Let me pause the video and get those lines drawn in. And as you can see, this is a mirror image of what we had over here. And that's how we reflect. So here's number 6. Let's go do the exact same thing. This is the tricky part. Even though the line of reflection is exactly the same as the y-axis, and that's not the new part, now we run into the situation of what do we do when a point is actually on the line of reflection? Well, let's ask ourselves what we were doing last time. We said, how far away is it from the line of reflection? In this case, it's 0 units away, so I'm going to move it 0 units. And so we're going to make x into x prime. E is the exact same situation. How far away is it from it? 0 units, so we're going to move it 0 units. And then we come back and handle z and a the way we're used to. It's how many units away? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I should be 4 away on this side. A is how many units away? 3. So we're going to make that one 3. And I'm sorry, I forgot to actually write in Z prime right here and A prime. And as you see, we've created a mirror image to the original, and so we've been able to flip it over the line of reflection. 2 more just to get your level of comfort up with this. This time our line of reflection is the x-axis, so you might want to sketch this out and then carefully go through and try to reflect it. Hit play when you're ready to see the final object. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start reflecting this over. Hopefully you've already done that. Here's K, it's one above, or excuse me, it's one below, so we need to make K prime one above. Here's U, it's three below, so let's make this one three above. And G is four below, say it's one, two, three, four, so this one should be four above. And there's our mirror reflection. We flipped it over the line of reflection. In this case, it became the x-axis. Number 8's very, very similar. It's over the x-axis again. Hit pause and do this, and then when you're ready, hit play. Okay, so since E is one above the line of reflection, we'll put E prime one below it. E prime there. Z prime is 5 above it, so Z prime will be 5 below it. And S prime is 2 above, so we'll put S is 2 above, so S prime will be 2 below. And I'll do this in real time just so I can talk as we do it. After you're done, always take a look to see if the shape is the same size. It should be. Basically, all we've done is moved it, and we're doing that through reflection. So at this point, you should be familiar with how to translate an object that was in our last video. This video, we talked about reflecting it, and on our next one, it will be how to rotate the object.